Hello everybody and welcome to my channel for a massive decluttering marathon. This marathon is a compilation of all of my recent decluttering videos to give you the ultimate source of motivation to get to some decluttering in your own home. My family and I live in a small house and we've been on a journey to have less stuff and make this home work for us and just be more minimal in general. This marathon includes tons of bedroom decluttering as well as kitchen decluttering and organizing, toy declutters, and a few small closet declutters as well. So I hope you're excited and you enjoy all of these videos I've put together for you. And let's just get right into it, starting off with our small linen closet.
I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough for you.
If you're wondering why I'm talking so quietly, it's because the baby is asleep right next to where this closet is, so we are gonna have to try and do this as quietly as we can. But the last time that I decluttered this, I think I was like 3 weeks postpartum after having him. So it's been almost a full year and it definitely needs some attention. So especially these medicines, there's just so much going on here. I'm sure that things are expired. And then we have kind of an overflow on the shelves. So we need to take pretty much every single thing out of here and try to find a way to put things back that will make sense and also just do a bunch of decluttering. But like I said, the baby is asleep and his room is right there. So we need to try and do this without waking him up, which will be fun. I like to do a full Konmari style declutter in a space like this, so I will empty the space entirely and I really get a good look at what I'm working with. I look at every item and decide whether or not it is still serving a purpose for us, and I don't keep anything that no longer makes sense for our family. Also, since it had been so long since I'd last decluttered this closet, I knew that it was dusty and needed some cleaning, so having the space totally empty makes it possible for me to go ahead and clean it before I reorganize all of the shelves. The shelving system that's on our closet door is from the Container Store, and I will have that linked in my description box down below. It's totally adjustable as far as the heights and locations of all of the mesh storage containers. It's also renter friendly since you do not have to do any drilling in order to install it, although we did since we do not rent, and it does help it to feel a little bit more secure in my opinion. This shelving system has really helped us a lot living in such a small home. We only have one bathroom and this is our only linen closet, so everything for our entire family of 4 needs to fit in here, and it just would not be possible without the containers on the back of the door utilizing that space. So here we have the mess of everything that I took out of the closet. So there is stuff everywhere. I'm going to go through each and every section, but I try to keep everything kind of categorized so at least like things are together for the most part. So our cleaning supplies are over here, extra bath products and things over there, hairstyling tools over there, medicine all over here. So there's a little bit of method to the madness, but it's still quite overwhelming when you look at it like this. If you Once the space is all cleaned, it's time to dive into the decluttering. I'm going through each bin and each category individually to make sure I'm only keeping the things that we use on a regular basis. We have certainly built up quite a bit of clutter over the past year, so I knew that this was going to be a big declutter. Decluttering this closet seemed so daunting going into it, and I'd been putting it off for weeks, honestly probably months. But getting it done couldn't have felt better. So if there's a space in your home that you've been procrastinating on going through, here's your sign to just go ahead and do it. You'll be so glad that you did.
I guess you can never tell if you'll go to hell. When will these clouds go away, turn into rain? And when will these stars in my head do good instead? I wanna fly away, fly to a place where all the clouds go away and turn to rain. You say you burn forever in hell. Will it hurt forever, or will I get used to the pain? You say you burn forever in hell. Will it hurt forever, or will I get used to?
You know, it's been a while since you've decluttered when you find pregnancy tests inside of something. So these are, I don't know from what pregnancy, because I've had a couple of miscarriages and I have 2 babies, so I don't know, but I think it's time to say goodbye to those. And also, this is my lipstick that I think I wore on our wedding day, so I've just held on to it all these years for sentimental reasons, and I still don't think I'm going to get rid of this today. And all this other stuff, I don't know when I bought this. I don't feel like it was that long ago, so I am going to try these out and see if they're still any good before I get rid of them. But I am going to remove them out of this container, which is another thing that I was kind of keeping for no reason. I built this, not built it, but I like stained it and I replaced the hardware and DIY'd it, I guess, a couple of years ago. So I've kept it because of that reason, but I'm not using it. I don't need it, and it's just taking up space at this point. So we're going to say goodbye to this little container here, and maybe I'll see if anybody wants it on Facebook Marketplace or something.
I'm laying down it to compile it. Oh no, I see you only when you're ballin'. Oh no, I don't even care to doubt. I'll see you in a while, 'cause this time I will choose you, yeah. Now choose. You know exactly how to look like this. Holding in a bag full of goods and needs. I need a night like this. Knowing it's a risk, 'cause you're using it. You got all your secrets. I can seem to move this thing. You're pulling me out and I'm right back in the sideline where you wanted me. I'm by the byway, waiting for your lead. I don't wanna fall in love like this, but I can't help to fall for you repeatedly. I don't wanna seem to shaky. Oh no, like I'm so.
Our medicines had definitely grown out of hand, and I knew that we had quite a bit of expired medication, and it got me thinking while I was decluttering that I wish that they sold medicines in smaller sizes, because we hardly ever go through a pack of something before it expires, and it just feels so wasteful. But I guess I'm just grateful that we don't get sick often enough that we need it all.
Knowing it's a risk, 'cause you're using it. You got all your secrets. I can seem to move this thing. You're pulling me out and I'm right back in. I'm on the sideline where you wanted me. I'm by the byway, waiting for your lead. I don't wanna fall in love like this, I can't help to fall for you repeatedly. Oh no, anxiety creeps up on me. Is this how it's supposed to feel? Tell me when it's over. I got someplace that I gotta be. It won't leave. My friends say, get out.
Pretty much reached a point where I have to start putting things back because I don't have any room to move right now. So I'm going to put back the things that I know I'm going to keep, and then whatever's left on the floor I will then decide what to do with. But I have a pretty big pile going right now of things that I'm decluttering, which is perfect, and this should be a big difference, a big before and after. Yeah, pretty much everything over here I will have to declutter, everything except for this little pile right here, but all of this I'm either going to dispose of, or I have another home for it, or I'll try to sell it, give it away, something. But yeah, got quite a good little pile going over here. I'm going to start by putting away these medicines, I think, because these I know will have to go on the top to keep them away from
Doctor says take some pills, but this is not how it's supposed to feel. Upside down and in and out, I guess I have to take a break. Get out of your comfort zone, it's a blessing in disguise. Get out of what you call home, your name is written in the sky. It might feel just like you're on your own, but baby, it's enough.
My favorite part of any decluttering project is easily putting everything back into the space. I love seeing how much extra space I've created and playing the game of where does it all fit the best. I try to be strategic, I try to categorize, but I mostly try to remember function first. The most important thing about any organization and decluttering project is that it functions for you and your family, not how pretty it looks, not how well your containers match. Remember, this is real life, and it's usually not realistic for every space in your home to look like it belongs in a magazine.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. I found my way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. My way. My way. My way. find my way, my way, my way, find my way, my way. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way, I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.
Small town, big crowd, and there you were in front of me. Small talk, big thoughts, all we wanted was to escape.
So all of these products are things I'm going to ask my husband if he still wants or needs, because I don't know if he's still using any of these. So I'm going to check with him on those, and then those bath bombs I'm going to give to my son Carson. I'm going to store these two things in my bathroom cabinet so they get used, and the rest, some cleaning towels, I can put those in the kitchen, an extra nightlight. So these things just need to find a different home because I don't want them in this closet anymore. But this is the pile of get rid of, donate, Facebook Marketplace, etc. I will of course safely dispose of any cleaning products, safely dispose of any medications. But yeah, we're going to get rid of all these. I have 2 sets of the Blueland cleaning products because I purchased them myself, but then I also ended up working with them, so they sent me a second set, and I'm gonna give this set to my mom so that she can use it. I give my mom so much stuff. She always reaps the benefits of my YouTube. So for example, she has my Tinco wet dry vac now, so I'm going to give her the things that go with that. But I'm so proud of myself for parting with this many things. And this is how our closet is looking now. It has a completely bare shelf, tons of space on the shelves. It's just looking a million times better and more organized. I put all the medications on these top shelves here. Carson would never ever touch them anyway, but just to be safe, they're up high. And below that, I have nail care related things, some sunscreens. That's a fabric shaver. That thing is amazing. I've got some gloves here that my husband uses all the time for cleaning. Band-aids, these have always been here, so I put them here so Carson knows where they are. And then these are just some extra products, extra toothpaste, extra shower curtain liner. I put my cleaning products on this bottom shelf here. Again, Carson knows never to touch these, and I would never obviously allow the baby in here by himself either. I've got my Bissell steam cleaner and the Swiffer wet pads down here, as well as my other set of Blueland cleaning products. I've got vacuum bags, damp rid, and my blow dryer, extra cords. This is hairstyling products, extra face sponges, Q-tips, and cotton balls. First aid related things right here where Carson can easily access them in case he absolutely needed to, or if God forbid one of us was hurt and he needed to grab something for us. I've got Scentsy Purell hand sanitizing wipes. This I put together a really long time ago and I always keep up with it, so this is good and it's all organized in a way that makes sense to us. And then we've just got some washcloths, a couple of hand towels. We keep a very limited collection of these things, but obviously I have more than this. This is just all that happens to be clean right now. We've got tissues, toilet paper, our bath towels, and up top I put the bleach because that is obviously dangerous around the kids. But this is looking so much better, and I'm so glad that I got around to doing this. And now the worst part is sorting through everything that I am disposing of. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this decluttering video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back again next week.
I love having you here with me to dream. I'm staying close to the mirror. a lock of gold, a secret smile.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel for another video. This week we are focusing on decluttering and organizing my other son's small bedroom. Last week we did my oldest bedroom and this week we are doing my youngest. So as you can see, his room was looking like a total mess. His closet was completely full. There really wasn't any room to store anything else. Everything was just kind of thrown in there. There was no real organization going on. So we need to just empty this space out, go through it all, get rid of the things that we don't need, and then restock with the things that we do need and just kind of reorganize everything. I have been on a little bit of a decluttering kick this year in 2023. We live in a small home, so we just need to try and keep our collection of things as minimal as we possibly can while still being able to function as a young family. I share all things cleaning, small space organizing, and decluttering over here on my channel, so if you are interested in that sort of thing, I would love for you to subscribe and stick around because I post a new video every single week. But now getting into our project of the day, we're going to start by emptying out Sutton's closet. This closet system I've talked about a bunch of times. We got this from a website called Modular Closets, and we put this in because his bedroom is so small that we wanted to open up the room a little bit more while still adding some storage. So this is what we use to organize everything that would typically go into a closet.
I fall, there's a legacy between us. We grow.
There were a few drawers that were actually pretty much fine the way that they were, so I didn't empty those out. So like this one, for example, that one was fine, but I did go ahead and empty out most of the other drawers. And then I did leave like diapers and wipes in the bottom drawer, but I will actually end up going in and changing that later on too. Just like with any organizing or decluttering project, once I have the space emptied, I always like to wipe it out.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy.
Organizing and decluttering is not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. You should do it the way that works best for you. In some cases, like this one, I like to completely empty the space so I can see the space that I'm working with and start fresh. But in some cases, I don't like to do this and I will just go shelf by shelf or section by section. Sometimes taking every single thing out can make it way more overwhelming because as you can see here, it just makes a giant mess all around you. So if you don't like that, if that stresses you out, then don't do it this way. Just go section by section.
Won't you tear my world apart?
I knew that I wanted to put his books back into the closet, but I wanted them all to fit onto one shelf if possible instead of having piles on all different shelves. So I started lining them up and I did this by size. You can do this whatever way works for you. In my oldest son's room last week, I did his bookcase and I put the storybooks in one section and I put the educational books in one section and chapter books in one section. And that made the most sense for him in his room, but in my baby's room, I just felt like it made more sense to do it this way.
Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head, and I can't stop thinking.
We love books. I don't feel like we could ever have too many books, but we definitely do have a larger collection these days than we've ever had before, but I guess that's what happens when you have two kids. But I think that of all the things that we could have an excess of, I'm okay with it being books. I like to rotate out the books that are on Sutton's bookshelves and available to him in his room. So every once in a while, I'll take them all off and I will put those ones away and I will switch them out for something else. So that's what I'm doing here. Once I got all of the books sorted and put away into his closet, I decided to start going through all of the things that were on the floor. So I'm just picking everything up one by one, seeing what it is, deciding if we should still keep it or if it's something we can part with or what I should do with it. Some of these things I stuck onto my island in my kitchen because trying to do anything around the baby is so hard, so I knew that I was going to have to do quite a bit of this work while he was asleep. So in order for me to do that, I had to take a lot of things out of his room and put them in the kitchen for me to go through because he will of course be napping in his room. So this was kind of a complicated and difficult declutter and organize for that reason. I decided not to use one of the drawers for his extra blankets and things, and I'm going to use one of the shelves in the top portion of his closet system instead, and I think that just makes a lot more sense.
Lost again, going back around, dreaming of a time.
Now we are going through all of the things that I shoved onto his changing table, and I did this because then I don't have to bend over quite as much. I can just stand there and go through it all, and it's just a lot easier on my body to do that. But I'm sorting through everything and figuring out what we no longer need, and also deciding if there's anything that I need to go through further that I will put into my kitchen again for when he's napping, so I can take a deeper look without being pressured so much.
Send me a letter and a bottle of wine, telling me I will be fine.
And if you're wondering how I was keeping Sutton entertained while I was getting this done, I had him in his crib playing with some of his Love Every toys. He loves these toys so much. They're some of our favorite toys. They're such good quality. They're so well made. This is not sponsored by Love Every, but they did send us over the play kit to try out, and Sutton absolutely loves it. This is the, I believe, 13 to 15 month play kit, and he's just been absolutely loving it. He is so imaginative when he plays with these toys. He tries them out a whole bunch of different ways. He'll use them the way they're meant to be used, but then as you could see, he was throwing other things down this slide, and he has so much fun with these toys. Love Every's toys are designed specifically for your baby's age, stage, and development, so you know you're getting the perfect toys for wherever they're at, and there's no guesswork involved. So I will leave a link in my description box below if you would like to check out Love Every, their play kits. We also had their play mat when Sutton was a baby, and we loved that as well. We have their block set, and we love that. They just make such incredible high quality toys. So again, I will have that linked in my description box down below.
Slip away if I come too far. Pick me up when I'm in pieces. Oh, that halfway heart of mine is a rolling stone. Make me roll right home.
You will notice that as I'm decluttering, I am also cleaning. For me, those things just go hand in hand. I just can't do one without the other. You guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you are the same way, or if you are one of the lucky few that's capable of just doing one thing at a time.
I was the girl all alone in the corner, drinking by herself on a Saturday night. You were the guy with
Sutton is quickly outgrowing all of the clothes that are currently in his dresser, and I knew that I needed to go through all of those, but again, it is so hard to do anything when he's awake and with me, And it's also that I'm just kind of on a time crunch because he will need to take a nap. So I decided to take all of his clothes completely out of his dresser, bring them out into the kitchen, and I'm just going to go through all of them while he's asleep.
It didn't feel like thunder or lightning, but something struck me when I was looking into your eyes. Wasn't love at first sight, of fire burning bright, but now I know what it was. It was like coming home.
Before I left his room for his nap, I wanted to get the last few things put away that I could. So I'm moving his diapers up a couple of drawers because I actually wanted to use this bottom drawer to store toys for him. So while we're in his room, he has something that he can play with.
And I was wishing you'd stick around. Still I was thinking we were just friends. Had we met before and seen chemistry?
It is so crazy the amount of things you can store even in such a tiny bedroom like Sutton's. So this is all the clothes from his dresser, a bunch of other random things, just all the things that I need to go through while he's asleep. So we're going to start tackling all of this now.
Struck me when I was looking into your eyes. Wasn't love at first sight, of fire burning bright, but now I know what it was. It was like coming.
I decided to start with laundry. So we are going to grab all of the clean laundry that I had ready to be folded. We're going to dump it all out onto the island and we're just going to fold all of that. And while I'm doing that, I'm making sure to look at the tags of everything to check the sizes. I wanted to make sure that I put aside anything that will no longer fit him so that I'm not putting things back into the drawers that I'm ultimately going to need to take back out.
It didn't feel like thunder or lightning, but something struck me when I was looking into your eyes. Wasn't love at first sight, of fire burning.
I wanted to talk here a little bit about the emotional side of decluttering. So this was actually so hard for me. I cried a lot while I was filming this video, and you would never know looking at me, but I was so sad. And it's very difficult for me to declutter my kids' things. It feels like I don't want to say throwing away their childhood, but that's just kind of the way that it feels in my brain while I'm trying to do it. It just makes me so sad. And I just can't believe how fast they're growing. I had just done this same thing in my older son's bedroom the week before, and I posted that video on my channel. So I went through all of his clothes. I got rid of all the things that no longer fit him. I was decluttering his room, and then doing it again for the baby. I just had such a hard time. A pretty good portion of Sutton's clothes were hand-me-downs from Carson. So as I'm going through all of them, there's just so many memories attached to everything. So for that reason, I just don't feel right about donating their baby clothes yet. I'm still packing them away, even though we are pretty sure that we're never going to have another baby. I'm just not ready to donate them. I can always do it down the road. I just can't right now. It's too hard for me. But I did go ahead and get rid of anything that was overly stained, that had big rips in it or anything like that. I don't want to keep those lingering around. So I was able to part with a few things, but I was not able to fully part with a lot of their clothing items.
There's a party downtown, someone said that you're coming by. I know that summer was a big mistake. I just hope that we're still okay. You always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want. And I always pick you up and let you down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we don't, damned if we give in what we want to what we want. inshallah. Did you ever tell her I have to sleep in the bed I made? I don't sleep much at all these days, 'cause you always pick me up and let me down. We're spinning around, losing our minds. Damned if we do, damned if we...
I wanted to go through all of Sutton's socks once and for all and get rid of any of the ones that I didn't have any immediate matches for, because I find myself holding on to them for so long with hope that I'll find the other sock, but then I never do, and then he just has a bunch of mismates in his dresser. So I wanted to just finally go through all those socks and get rid of the ones that we don't need.
What we want, to what we want.
Since he was asleep, I started sticking all of the clean laundry all folded up and ready to go into this laundry basket so that I could carry it into his room once he was awake and get everything put away. But now we are going through everything that was stored in his dresser. So starting off with sleep suits. These are all ones that no longer fit him. Now that he is standing, I like to do the wearable blankets that have feet, so he's not tripping all over himself when he's trying to stand up in a sleep bag that doesn't have like the footholes.
I don't think that I'm being that selfish right now. You said yourself you'd be breaking every vow. I can understand you're tired of this town, and I'm not saying that we have to settle down now.
Surprise, surprise, I found a bunch more socks that I needed to go through, and of course I found some matches for the ones I was planning to get rid of, so I had to pull those back out and just put them together. But yeah, the sock saga in our house continues.
Find each other out there, made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you. Stardust, stardust. Ooh, yeah. I'm the lazy one, so I guess I should have known. You said yourself you wanna do this alone. What if your dreams are making it hard to think straight? If you still love me, I can wait, I can wait.
I was using this Target bag for any trash, so I'm just collecting all that into the bag, getting that ready to go, and now we're going to go through all of his special outfits. I have a special bin for each of my kids, and I just store all of like the really cute outfits, like with a lot of memories attached to them. So for example, their first birthday outfits, their first Christmas, their first Easter, all of the above, and I just keep them aside in a special bin. These are things that I will not donate, I won't throw away. They're things that I'll keep for myself to look back on, and then maybe eventually someday, if my kids decide to have kids of their own, if they have a little boy, I would love to hand some of these things down to their kids so they can wear some of their dad's outfits, which is just so wild to think about, by the way. I cannot imagine them being that old.
Stardust, same world but without us. Something made us find each other out there. Made us realize we're more than just stardust. Ignore this fact if you must, to do what your dreams are telling you to do. And I'll be out there looking for someone like you.
I don't know why my camera decided to stop focusing here, so I sped this clip way up where I was putting everything away so you didn't have to look at this blurry clip for too long. So this is the state of things. This stuff is all things that need to be packed up and put away down in our basement for either eventual donations or maybe possibly a baby someday in the future, which we can't fully rule out at this point in time. This is stuff that I'm giving to my sister because she is about to have my first niece any not any day now, but any week now. And then this is trash. And this is all the stuff that needs to go back into Sutton's room once he wakes up.
It's just that my heart can't take it. I didn't know what it would cost me when I let you go. I feel alone, and I'm just singing.
So this is where things started to get real dicey for me as I was filming. This is when the emotions really started to hit. I found this bin that was in Sutton's closet, and inside of it was a bunch of cards that were from my baby shower when I was pregnant with Carson. There were Sutton's first footprints. There was a CD that had my 3D ultrasound when I was pregnant with Carson. There was ultrasound pictures. There was just all kinds of stuff in this here bin, and I started to get so sad, especially as I was going through the cards. We have had a lot of loss in my family over the last 2 years, and going through the cards, I was finding ones that were given to me by family members that have passed on. So seeing those was just making me, of course, really sad, really emotional, but then also looking at all the baby things and my internal struggle with baby number 3, whether we have it or we don't, and it was just really tough. So again, decluttering can be a very emotional process. You should go easy on yourself. You should just do what you can, do the best that you can. Don't feel like you need to get rid of absolutely everything, especially if there is memories attached to an item, if there's some kind of sentimental value. You do not need to get rid of anything that you are not ready to get rid of. And on this day, there was just a lot of things that I was not ready to part with. I grabbed this bin from my basement, and I'm just going to throw everything in there that Sutton has outgrown. And then I do like to label these, so to do that I just grab a piece of paper, I write down what's in the bin, and then I stick it on the side of the bin, inside of it, where I can see it. And then that way it just makes it easy for me, if I'm ever looking for this bin in particular, to know what is in it. Now that Sutton has woken up, I'm going to get everything put away back into his dresser. I try to keep this as simple as possible. I've talked about this in several videos recently, but I'm no longer worried so much about the aesthetics of the dresser. I'm just worried about everything being put away back where it belongs, keeping it as simple as possible. So I'm just grabbing everything and putting it back into the dresser in categories. I had a few books that were stragglers that I found while I was going through things in the kitchen, so I'm getting those put away into his closet system. And then once we're done doing that, we are going to work on picking up the room so I can really see all the progress that I've made, how much I was able to get rid of, and it's just nice to end a project like this with the room looking nice and clean. I wanted to vacuum not only the floors but also the rocking chair, because We have a cat that likes to nap on Sutton's rocking chair during the day, and sometimes there can just be a little too much kitty fur for my liking. So the first thing that I did was just vacuum around the perimeter of the room. I like to do this to get any like big dust bunnies or anything like that that might be either hiding under the furniture or dust that might be attached to our baseboards. And then I attach my regular vacuum head and I just vacuum the carpet. And then I have other attachments that are meant for upholstery, so I'll use that to vacuum the rocking chair. And we are all done with Sutton's bedroom. It is reorganized, it's clean, it's decluttered, and everything is functioning a lot better now. It's really good to do this at least once every season because he's growing so fast. I always need to go through his clothes. But things just collect. Clutter collects, and that's just the way that it is when you have a family with young kids in a small house. That's just real life for you. But as you can see, things are looking so much better now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it gave you a little bit of motivation to organize or declutter or just clean up around your house. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the Love Every Play Kit if you guys are interested in their toys. We absolutely love them. If you are new to my channel, I would just love for you to subscribe and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll come back again next week for another video.
Just watch me.
Today is a very big day because we are finally decluttering my tiny master bedroom. It is so small, it is hard to move around in here. We have tried every which way of assembling our furniture in this room, trying to just make more space, and it's impossible. So we have just come to the conclusion that we just have to work with the way things are, but have less stuff. So my goal today is to declutter at least 50% of my wardrobe and the things that we keep in this bedroom, just to make it a little bit less cluttered and chaotic. I actually already started this, which you guys will see. I painted the room. It was like this awful lilac color, and the walls were so scuffed up and dirty, and there was just spots and dings and everything on the walls. So it's already looking so much brighter and better in here. I do have ideas for decorating, maybe doing like an accent wall or something on this side, but it was getting to be too much, me trying to do too much in a very short period of time. So we're going to take it one step at a time. We've painted the room, I'm going to declutter the room, and then we're also going to do a little bit of decorating. Okay, so like I said, I painted my room first. This took so much work. I was painting for days and days on end. I am so far from a professional. I'm just a mom trying to get things done while her kids are asleep. So anytime Sutton was napping, I was working on the painting. When the kids went to bed, I was working on the painting, and it took me, like I said, multiple days, but I finally got it done, and I was so happy with the way that it turned out. The color that I used was Smoky White by Bear. We have used that color all over the house. I really like it because it's a warm white, but it's not yellow at all. I do not like yellow toned whites. This white can have kind of a orangey hue to it in certain lighting, but I love it. I think it looks so good, and it really brightened up this room and just made it look a million times cleaner. So this is how the walls are looking since I painted them. It's just a neutral color, and I think that it's going to come across a lot brighter on camera, which is good. but it's just much cleaner and brighter looking in general, so I'm really happy with that. And then I am going to have my husband hang a couple of decorations. My friend and I went thrifting the other day looking for a very like antique looking, maybe a bronze colored full-length mirror that I could put on that wall, but we just could not find anything. So I think for now I'm just going to use some of the decor that I had in my apartment. If you guys remember that, I still have that, and I'm just going to use that just to add a little bit of like color and life to the room and make it look like we tried to decorate it. But at some point I do want to actually be like a little bit more intentional with our decor in here. But we are about to get into the decluttering. This is going to be quite a project, and I want to try and finish it before my 1-year-old wakes up from his nap. This bucket I have here to fill up with anything that I'm going to donate, and then I am also going to grab a trash bag in case there's anything that just is not in good enough shape to donate. Here is a quick little before shot of our small bedroom closet. This closet is very tiny and it's very jam-packed full. I've tried to declutter this a couple of times on my channel, but it always ends up full of clutter again. So I honestly think that today's declutter was my biggest declutter I have ever done as far as our bedroom goes, and I can't see this closet getting so full to the brim again anytime soon because I got rid of so much stuff. But just like with any decluttering project, I'm of course emptying the entire closet out so I can see the space and I can clean it and I can go through every single item that was in there. This is obviously my husband's stuff. I'm not going through his things today, but I am at least going to fold these few things so that it looks a little bit neater. I had every single piece of clothing laying on my bed in a pile, and I was going through each piece individually, deciding if I wanted to keep it, if it was trash, or if it was something that I could donate. I had to be so honest with myself as I was going through everything about how often I'm actually wearing it, how much I enjoy wearing it, do I even feel good in it, does it even fit me anymore? And I was actually trying on a couple of the pieces, which you guys will see as I was going, to see how they made me feel and just deciding whether or not they were worth keeping and if they were worth taking up space in my home. I am trying so hard in 2023 to be more intentional about what I'm keeping in my home because we live in a very small home and we just don't have a lot of storage space, and the more stuff you have, the more mess you're able to make, the more time you have to spend cleaning up that mess. So I just want our home to be more tidy in general this year, and the only way we're going to achieve that is by getting rid of some things. Sometimes I start to feel bad about having so much stuff and feeling like I've wasted money because I'm now getting rid of it. And I actually got a comment recently telling me that if I stopped shopping so much, I wouldn't need to declutter so much, which is honestly not the case for me. I'm not a big shopper. I really don't buy myself much. The reason why I have so much clothes, once I really started to think about it, is because I've gone through 2 pregnancies in the last 5 years, and my body has changed a lot between the pregnancies and also gaining the quarantine 15. I feel like I have bounced around sizes so much. So I just have a bunch of different sizes of clothes. And that to me is a pretty valid reason to have a larger collection of clothes than I probably need. I honestly have such a hard time donating clothes because I feel like I hold so much sentimental value in things, and I'm trying to just remember that I have pictures in these outfits. They're not doing me any justice taking up space in my closet because honestly a lot of them don't fit me anymore. I have 2 kids now. Some of this was pre-baby, some of this was between having Carson and Sutton, and my body's different. Things just don't fit the way that they used to. I also don't work an office job anymore, so holding on to some of these things is silly. So I am trying to be brutal with myself about what I'm donating right now, but it's definitely hard. I am also trying to remind myself that there's probably somebody out there who would appreciate and love these things a lot more than I am just having them sit in my closet. So it's giving them another life. I hope they find a good home somewhere, and I'm proud of myself for all that I'm getting rid of right now. But now we're gonna go through my drawers as well and add to this pile, and the amount of space I'm going to get back in my closet is going to be insane. Now we're working on putting things back into the closet so I can see how much I was able to get rid of and how much space I ended up having in this space. And it felt so good when I pushed all the clothes over to one side and saw that I had most definitely decluttered at least 50% of what was in the closet. Also, when I am putting back my clothes like this, I try to put them back like color coded. I don't know why, it's just the way that I prefer to do it. So I'll put like the whites together, the blues together, reds together, so on and so forth. And I just feel like it looks a little bit more visually appealing to me, but also it's easier for me to find what I'm looking for because I just look for that section with that color. Now I'm going through a couple of the items on my bed, honestly, just to make space for me to sit down because our dresser, because we have such a small room, our dresser is so close to our bed that I can't even open the dresser drawers all the way, and I need to sit on the bed in order to get into my drawers. And now we are going through all of my drawers. My goal was to make it so that all of my clothes would either be able to be hung up or it would fit into my drawer and there would be nothing extra that didn't have a space. So first I just went through each drawer and found things that I wanted to donate, but this was not all of my clothes. I had a whole load of laundry that was in the dryer that I needed to go grab and fold before I could make all my final decisions about what I was keeping and what I was donating or throwing away. So it might not look like I'm taking out that much right now, but when I do go ahead and put in that next load of laundry, I did another deep dive into the clothes to get rid of a few more things just to make sure that everything fits and nothing was left behind. Like I said, that was not all of my clothes. I had this whole load of laundry in the dryer that I needed to fold and deal with. So I am going through all of this clothes, and as I was doing this, I was putting aside anything that I knew I could get rid of. I wasn't going to bother bringing it into my room and adding it to the mess because I knew that I wasn't going to keep it. But most of this stuff I did keep because since it was just in the dryer, that means that I do wear it the most frequently. So I wasn't going to get rid of the items that I actually wear on a normal basis. And to save my back, I try to fold at my kitchen island when it is cleared off because it's just much easier on myself than it is trying to hunch over and fold at my bed. I was talking recently in a cleaning video about how I sometimes can feel like such a perfectionist when it comes to my laundry, and I want all of my clothes to be folded in this filing method. So when you open your drawers, you can see everything that you have and you don't need to dig around. And in theory, that is great. It works great for my clothes in particular, but for my kids, it's just not working for us right now in this phase of life. They go through clothes so fast, and laundry was becoming such a daunting and difficult task because I was so focused on how perfectly lined up everything was in their drawers. So I've recently had to give up control of that and just fold their clothes as quick and easy and just get it put away as I can, instead of focusing so much on having that perfect filing method system going in their drawers. So you'll see that here I'm folding my clothes with mostly the filing method because that works for me. But if that doesn't work for you, do not feel like you need to do that just because you see everybody else doing it. It's totally okay to fold your clothes the easiest way that you can just to get the task done. It's better that they're in your drawers and put away than it is with them sitting in a laundry basket for weeks on end, because it's such a daunting task to have to organize them all perfectly and put them away. Now we are putting everything back into the drawers. So in my top drawer, I keep like athletic clothes, leggings, sleep shirts. I try to also put my sleep shorts in here. So I'm keeping like 4 categories of clothing in one drawer, just trying to be as efficient as possible. But like I said, I didn't want to have anything left behind that wouldn't fit in a drawer. So if I ran into a struggle with trying to get something in there, that meant that I needed to get rid of one more thing in order to make space for something that I actually want to keep. In my middle drawer, I keep all of my short sleeve shirts, and I mostly wear those in the summer, but occasionally in the winter I will go ahead and grab those. And then in my bottom drawer, I keep all of my shorts and my jeans and also some sweatpants. So I really only have 3 drawers that I use in our bedroom. The rest are all my husband's, and then I use half the closet. So I definitely feel like I made huge progress and that my clothing collection has shrunk considerably, and I'm so proud of myself for the work that I've been able to do on this. Now we're going to work on decluttering just the rest of the items that are in my room and clearing off my bed, clearing off all of the dressers and nightstands, just getting this room looking nice and in order so that we can start hanging up decorations. Sutton is up from his nap now, so I have to stop and go get him, but this is where we're at with the closet. So at least 50% of what was in here is now gone, so that feels amazing. I still have a few things that I need to find places for. I honestly may end up going through all of my drawers again and trying to thin out what's in there, but what I'm going to do now is get this wrapping paper downstairs in with the rest of the wrapping paper. It's been sitting in here since Christmas, and get my sheets so I can make my bed, feed the baby lunch, and then we will get back into it and clean up the rest of this mess. It is time to go ahead and make the bed, and this was just so needed because I had washed my sheets on this day. I had my bed fully taken apart. I had piles of pillows and blankets and everything in one corner of the room, and because our room is so small, it makes the room feel that much smaller, and like I have so much less space to move around when the bed is not made and everything is flung all around. So it felt really good to get this done. If you do nothing else in a day, just making your bed makes such a huge difference. I find that I feel a lot more productive and a lot more put together when my bed is made. Plus, it just feels so good to get into a made bed at the end of the day. I needed to move the donations and the trash and everything out of my room and into the hallway to make more space to move. I was just feeling so claustrophobic and like I had just no space to do anything. The majority of this pile was sweatshirts that I was putting aside for when I would put all those away together, but there were a couple of things that had gotten thrown into this pile that did not belong with the sweatshirts that I needed to get put away. But I do keep a bin underneath my bed for my sweatshirts because they're so big and bulky, and we do have a bed that is like raised up off the floor, so I'm able to use a storage bin under there, and that's just the easiest thing that works for me as far as storing my sweatshirts at this point in time. But it was very dusty, so I noticed that and I just did a quick little vacuum and then wiped it down before I opened it up and put away the sweatshirts. Here is just a quick shot of everything that I was able to declutter once I got them put into trash bags, which I could take to the donation center. I had an empty bin that I used to go ahead and grab anything that didn't belong in our bedroom that somehow made its way in there. And I just stuck all that in the bin and took it out in the other room so that I could find the homes for it when I was done with my bedroom project. Now I'm going to go ahead and wipe down our furniture. I wanted to do just a little bit of vacuuming. Our room was vacuumed already and the floors weren't too bad, but as I was taking things out of like the closet and stuff, there were just like little pieces of dust and fur and whatever else, crumbs that somehow made its way into the room. So just going around the perimeters of the room with my vacuum and sucking up any little stray particles that I find. So these are the pictures that I had hanging in our apartment, and I just dug them out. This one has seen better days. It cracked right here on the frame, so I don't know that I'm going to use this one. I'll probably just use these two, and I'm thinking that they can go next to each other on this wall, and then we're going to hang this sign that we also had in the apartment, expect good things. We're going to put that on that wall over there. And I would love so much if this window was centered so we could do something above our bed, but it's not. And we have tried our bed here, we've tried our bed there, we've tried our bed over there, we've tried our bed back here, and this is the only way that the room functions at all. So unfortunately, it is what it is, and our windows will never be centered with the bed. So there's really nothing. I just feel like if I put something over here, it's gonna look funny, and yeah, so. Here I'm just testing out where I thought I wanted these pictures to go. I originally was going to hang up all three, but one of them had a crack in the frame, so I just ended up having my husband hang up two, which was very kind of him to come home and do for me after a long day at work. I totally could have done it myself. In fact, I remember doing it myself when I was in my apartment. If you guys have been around that long, I was a single mom at the time. If you don't know my story, my husband and I separated in the end of 2019 going into 2020, and we ended up deciding to work on our family and keep us together after we were living apart for several months during the pandemic. It was a crazy time, but I'm so happy that it all worked out, because obviously now we have our sweet little Sutton and our family is together, and I just cannot imagine life any other way at this point. But that is going to be it for this week's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and this massive declutter bedroom makeover. Our room is feeling so much brighter and cleaner and just more fresh, and it's giving that peaceful and serene vibe that I was looking for when I go to bed at the end of the day. We obviously didn't increase the square footage of the room or anything like that, but somehow it feels bigger because we got rid of so many things. If you enjoy cleaning, decluttering, and small space organizing videos, then be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you again next week for another. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. Today we are working on organizing, cleaning, and decluttering my son's small bedroom. As you can see, it was looking really unorganized, and there was just way too much stuff, and it desperately needed to be picked up too. So we're doing a big declutter. We're organizing his new bookshelves. We're also decluttering his clothes and reorganizing all of his drawers. I share small space organization idea videos here on my channel all the time, so if you live in a small home and you have trouble organizing, then you have found the right place. I share all things cleaning and decluttering as well, so if you're in need of ideas, just some motivation, or even just a friend to hang out with while you're getting things done, then I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and come back every week for a new video. A lot of the time, before I can even think about getting into the organizing or decluttering, I just need to pick up a little bit. So starting with the bed, making the bed always makes a huge difference in any space, but especially if you live in a small home. If your bed is unmade in your small little bedroom, it's going to make the whole bedroom feel like a complete disaster. So I always start with the bed. It just makes me feel better, and it makes the space instantly feel a little bit more clean and tidy. When I make my son's bed for him, I always line up all of his stuffed animals so they look like they're sitting on the pillows waiting for him when he gets home, and he just likes it when I do this, so I keep doing it. Something that is so tricky to keep up with is schoolwork. So if you have a child that brings home artwork and school papers and everything all the time, then you totally understand what I mean. The paper clutter can build up so fast, and it's something that we have an ongoing battle with. So while I was in his room, I noticed there was a pile of his school papers, so I went through them and only kept the ones that I felt like we needed to keep, and anything else I did toss into a laundry basket. And everything that went into the laundry basket on this day was something that I was planning on throwing out. Fellow parents, you will have to let me know how you feel about Legos. I am really not a fan of Legos. They're such a mess, and the little pieces end up all over the place, which is especially nerve-wracking when you also have a little baby. We have a 1-year-old too, so I feel like I'm just constantly finding Legos, and it scares me because they're a choking hazard. So not a big fan of them, but my son has been gifted a couple of Lego sets, and I can't just throw them away on him, at least not yet. So unfortunately, had some Legos I needed to put back together and find a safer space for. I would love to eliminate this drawer system altogether, but we're just not quite there yet. I need to do a little bit more decluttering in his closet before I can consolidate everything from these drawers into the closet and get this out of his room. But for now, I am just going through each drawer and doing some decluttering. And in this one in particular, there was all the little pieces to things that you don't even know what they go to, and they all end up in a bin together. So I decided that it was time to just get rid of them. So if you're looking for something easy that you can declutter right now, look for all the little pieces to the toys. It's time to get rid of them. Your child is not going to miss them or probably ever notice that they're gone. In this drawer, my son was keeping all of his things that go to his Smashers, and Smashers are like a collectible toy. There's a bunch of eggs, and they have different like dinosaurs in them that you can build and things like that. And my son loves to open the eggs and do the activity. There's a lot of slime in it and things that you have to go through in order to get the little pieces, and he loves that. But then once he's built it, he really never plays with it again. So it's just clutter for me, but I can't throw all of it away at once. He will notice and he'll get really upset. So I am just doing the best I can to get rid of all the extras that we really don't need and slowly dwindle down the collection of Smashers. Now that we have made some room in these drawers, I'm going to put some of the things that just didn't have a place away into the drawers to finally give them a place. The thing that I was most looking forward to doing on this day was organizing his new bookshelf. I got this from Target. It is from the Room Essentials line, I believe, and it was like $70 when I bought it, which isn't too bad, I suppose, but it's a corner bookshelf, and I really like that because it provides a lot of storage space, but I feel like it doesn't take up a lot of space in the room because it's utilizing the corner the way that it is, if that makes sense. And it's also kind of tall, so I feel like it kind of uses the vertical space, and it just works really well for what we needed it for. You don't have to store books in this if you don't want to. The different compartments, I believe, can hold 11-inch fabric storage bins, so you could use this for really anything. So if you have a small bedroom, especially for a kid, this would be a great addition, and I'll have it linked in my description box down below. I wanted to put all of his books away into different categories in the bookcase, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just separating them out into categories that make sense to me and that I also think will make sense to my 5-year-old. The goal here is for everything to have a place and also for it to be easy for my son to put everything back himself. These are all the categories that I came up with. So we've got some educational books, we have holiday seasonal books, we've got like construction truck books, and then we've got story books, we've got classic books, and we also have some character books and some of the like learn to read, step into reading books that my son can pretty much read on his own, which is still so mind-boggling to me. I just cannot believe how smart he is, and the fact that he's reading, just crazy. Some of the compartments were really deep, so you could actually store, you honestly might be able to fit 2 fabric storage bins into those sections, like one behind the other. So I like that because I feel like the designers of this bookcase didn't skip out on any of the storage, and none of it is being wasted. Categories, like I said, makes the most sense to us because it just keeps it easy for my 5-year-old to pick up after himself and put his books away in the proper place. And so far it's actually worked out really well because this morning, the day that I'm doing these voiceovers, he noticed that my husband put one of his books back in the wrong spot, and he was like, that is not a storybook, that is this book, it should go here. And it was just funny that he already noticed that and fixed it. Some people like to store their books like the colors of the rainbow, and that looks really pretty. But again, for us, that just doesn't work right now. It just makes more sense to do categories to keep it easy for the level that my child is at. But organization is very personal in general. You should always do what works best and functions best for you and your family. I probably need to get some bookends because some of these keep falling over, which is going to drive me crazy, but this is so much better as far as book storage goes. So this side actually runs really, really deep, so there's more storage back there that I may end up using for other things, but for now they're just all pulled forward. But the way I organized these was by type for the most part. So these books are all of like the Construction Set on Christmas Night, Digger Sore, Little Blue Truck type of series that we own. And then down here I put all educational books. So he's got a bunch on dinosaurs and fish, but he's also got stuff on like the human body and just things like that. So that's the educational section. And then down below I have seasonal books, so anything Christmas, Valentine's Day, Halloween, they're all down here. I haven't figured out what I'm going to put in these front sections here, but I think I'll leave that football there because he'll like that. And then on this side, I have his Captain Underpants books. He also collects some of these Narwhal books, so I've got those together. And then these are like classic books, older ones that were passed down to us on this side. And then on that side, these are like books that he can read, so a lot of them are like the step into reading, or they're just like character books that go together. And then on the bottom, we just have storybooks. So this is so much better. They're all organized a lot better, and it'll be easier to find what we're looking for, and I think he's going to like this. These books right here just would not fit because they were so tall, so I'm going to go ahead and put those ones back into his closet. Now that we're finishing up the bookshelf organization, I'm just going through the few things that were on Carson's bed, getting them off of there, and then we're going to start working on his clothes. So lately, my husband has been the one who's been taking care of folding his laundry and putting it away for me, which is great, but I've been starting to notice that sometimes Carson comes out ready for the day and his pants are like a little bit too short, or his sleeves are a little bit too short on his arms too, because he's just growing so fast. So it was time for me to do a deep dive into all of his clothes and go through them and find the things that were no longer fitting him. So the first thing that I'm doing is going through this laundry basket that was full of clean clothes, folding anything that can be put away and throwing aside anything that is now too small. You'll notice that the laundry basket is now full again, and that's because I did another load of Carson's laundry that morning, so he had a whole bunch of other clean clothes that needed to be gone through. So I'm just doing the same thing. I'm folding whatever I can to put away, and then anything else that's too small for him, I'm putting aside. I have talked about this a few times recently, but I usually do the filing method when I'm folding my kids' clothes and my clothes because it just looks nice, and it's nice when you can open their drawer and see everything that they have without having to dig around. But back to organization being personal, sometimes things like that just don't work for you or your family, and in this case, it was no longer working for us. Folding laundry was becoming too daunting of a task, and it was taking too much of my time, so I had to give up control on that and just fold it quick, fold it simple, and also allow my husband to fold it and put away the clothes so that it would get done, as opposed to it just sitting in a laundry basket for weeks, because it's just too daunting for me to think of having to perfectly fold every single article of clothing. But also, my son is 5, and when he goes through his drawers, he doesn't care how neat and organized it looks. He's still going to dig through everything and mess it up. So there's really no point in going out of my way to make sure that everything looks perfect, because within a couple of days, it's just going to be a mess again. So it was too much of a time suck, and it was causing too much anxiety, and it just wasn't working for us, and it wasn't worth it for us. But if you like doing that system, it looks really nice and it makes the most sense, but it just doesn't always work for everybody. I also was really liking these drawer liners for a while to kind of compartmentalize everything that's in the drawer, but that was also not working for me anymore, so I decided to remove those. We've just gone back to very simple folding and putting the clothes away and not worrying so much about the aesthetics. And right here is a perfect example of why I'm no longer doing the filing method, because as you could see, everything was just a mess and thrown around in there from my son digging through it, so there's just no point. I've had a ton of people tell me that they always buy their kids socks that are all one color, so it's really easy to find matches. And I think that's a great idea. I've tried to find socks that are like that, but when I like go to Target and check out the sock aisle, they're all different. So I've yet to find socks like that to buy, but we've had a really tough time with socks recently. Every single brand that we've bought, they rip really, really fast. I don't know if my son's just really rough with his socks or what it is, but there's always holes in the toe and holes in the heel of his sock as well. It's like a constant battle. As my son has gotten older, I've noticed that his clothes doesn't hold up as well as it did when he was a little baby. So it's hard for me to find things that are good enough to keep for our baby, for when he gets bigger, for him to grow into. So a lot of this was honestly trash. It wasn't even donatable because there was holes in them and stains that are never going to come out. So I just went through this, figured out what was still good and what wasn't. Some of it I kept, but a lot of it I had to go ahead and throw away. This is so random, but I noticed that there was like marks on his door, so I was just cleaning them off. But now I'm also going through everything that was in the laundry basket and throwing that into the garbage bag as well. I'm doing a very, very quick vacuum of the perimeter of the room, and then we're going to call it a day. His room was feeling so much better, a lot less stuff. I was really happy with how much I was able to declutter. I had a big bag that was full of just trash, and then in that laundry basket on the right was clothes that I'm able to save for Sutton when he gets bigger. But overall, a very good day. Got that bookcase organized, got everything done on my list. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this declutter and small bedroom organization. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and turn your notification bells on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back again next week for another video.
I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me.
Sure you guys can see behind me, my kitchen is a complete and utter mess right now. So I want to do some decluttering and some organizing in here today. The main areas that I want to tackle is the fridge, pantry, and we also have a closet that could kind of be considered a pantry closet, but I want to get those three areas taken care of today. I don't know about all of you, but when my space is a mess like this, I can't focus on any projects. So I need to clean this up first in order to get to work on everything else, but I will leave a timestamp on the screen if you want to skip the cleaning up portion and go right to the organizing. I am so excited to share this week's organization projects with you all. Like I said, we will be cleaning out, decluttering, and organizing the fridge, and doing the same in our pantry. I did a full pantry organization a couple of months ago, but it could definitely use a refresh because as time goes on, the pantry tends to collect a lot of excess packaging. So I needed to get all of that out of there and everything restocked back into their bins. As for my fridge, I don't use a bin system or really any special organization method. Here on my channel, I like to focus on what functions the best for my family versus what looks the most aesthetically pleasing. You may be wondering why I'm including the cleaning in the organization video, and that's because, first of all, I started as a cleaning channel, so cleaning is still close to my heart. I try to post cleaning motivation videos regularly, so hoping I give you a little bit of cleaning motivation today, but also because I believe that organization and cleaning go hand in hand, because for me personally, when there's a big, huge mess around me, I cannot get anything done. I need everything to be cleaned up first, and then I can focus on the organizing. I have posted so many kitchen organization videos here on my channel, and I love to post videos that are geared towards smaller spaces to help you guys figure out clever ways to organize small spaces around your home. I have lived in 3 different kitchens in my time on YouTube. My first kitchen, actually 4, because I've had my current kitchen renovated, but my first one was a brand new kitchen. It had a ton of storage space. I had more storage space than I knew what to do with. And then we moved into an apartment, and in the apartment, our kitchen was so small in comparison to our old kitchen. So I started coming up with all kinds of clever ways to organize things and started sharing that here on YouTube, and you guys really liked that. So I've kept it going, and I have posted a few in my current kitchen as well. So I'll have a playlist in my description box down below of all of my kitchen organization videos if you guys are looking for more ideas.
I get a lot of comments about why I rinse my dishes before I put them into the dishwasher, and this right here is exactly why, because it does not always get off everything that is stuck on there. So this I'll have to rewash because I obviously I'm not going to use that. It still looks dirty. It's gross to me. So if you're wondering why I do that, this is why.
I knew that I was going to need my sink when it was time to clean out my fridge, so I wanted to make sure I got all of the recycling that was thrown into the sink out of there, and then also get all of the dishes loaded into the dishwasher. I know this looks so nasty, but we had a slaw mix with carrots with our dinner the night before, so that was not like moldy food in the drain, it was just slaw mix. We are not a family that keeps like an overabundance or an oversupply of food. We typically just shop 1 week at a time. But I think the last time I cleaned this fridge, Sutton was maybe 2 months old, so we have the potential to find some pretty nasty stuff hidden in the back where no one can see it. And I'm just gonna say it now, this is a judgment-free zone. I don't wanna hear anyone in the comments telling me I'm disgusting, because there's probably stuff in your fridge too that you wouldn't want anyone to see, if I had to guess.
So a little tip for you guys, if you're ever planning on doing a renovation in your kitchen, is to make sure that all of the drawers can come out of your fridge wherever you end up placing it, because originally where we had this placed, these drawers wouldn't open all the way and we wouldn't have been able to take out the drawers in order to clean it. So we had to pull the fridge out more and make sure that we aligned everything perfectly so that those drawers could come out. Otherwise, it would have made trying to clean this very, very difficult. But this is how the fridge is looking. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. There's definitely some mystery material in here, but for sure needs to be wiped down. But it could be worse. And I'm not taking the drinks out or those yogurts because there's literally only ever drinks up there, so it should not be super dirty. I can just move them out of the way just to wipe it down. Dawn Power Wash is by far the best thing to use when you're cleaning out your fridge because it will cut through any of the food that is stuck on there. I did have a really hard time removing whatever this was. I honestly have no idea what it was, but I had to like scratch in there, use my fingernails. It was kind of gross in order to clean up whatever this was. I really wanted to take my time wiping down the inside of the fridge because what's the point in organizing it if it's just going to be gross inside? So cleaning it out, this just felt so good, and it's one of those things that I absolutely dread doing, but when I do it, I am so happy that I did. Now I'm going to wash out all of the bins that I pulled out from inside of my fridge using soap and water. I was trying to move as quickly as possible because I didn't want anything to go bad while it was sitting out on my island. So as I was putting things back in, I was also putting in some of the more perishable items like the milk, the yogurts, the meats, the cheese, things like that, because them sitting out on my counter for too long is probably not good.
While I'm washing out these liners, I would love to know if any of you have a really gross story you could share in the comments down below of the worst thing that you've ever found in the back of your fridge when you've cleaned it out. One time I found a container that was full of fruit salad that I had forgot about, and it was honestly months old. It was absolutely disgusting. It's one of those times where you just throw the whole container away because at that point it just can't be saved. So now we're going to go through all of this, and my guess is that if anything is no longer good, it's going to be condiments, because we just don't go through those faster than they expire. We just have so many. I don't even know why we managed to collect so many of those, but I'm going to go through everything, check expiration dates, make sure everything is still good. Some of the leftovers that are packaged are probably no good anymore. This I just made last night, so I know that's good, but this, maybe it was a week ago, so probably should get rid of that. And then this, I honestly don't remember, and I'm kind of scared to look. I was pleasantly surprised as I was going through all of this food to find that not all of it was expired. Some of it was still good that I really thought would have been bad by now. So I did not have nearly as much food waste as I expected there to be. But like I said, we're not a family that buys a bunch of bulk food, at least to store in our refrigerator. We usually buy everything the week of, and we plan ahead for the week, and that's just kind of how we've always done things. And I feel like because we do it that way, we just have very little food waste because we don't ever have an overabundance of food. In the past, I have done the whole bins in the fridge thing, and I really liked the way that it looked, but it just wasn't functioning for us at all. And we have a system that works for us as a family, so we just put things where they make the most sense to us. And maybe this isn't the correct way to do it all the time, but for our family, it's working. And like I said, I like to focus on being functional versus aesthetically pleasing here on my YouTube channel. Sometimes I do things because they look pretty, and sometimes I do things because they make my thumbnails look nice and all of that. But for the most part, I try to always think about what functions for us before thinking about what is going to look the best on the internet. And the reality is that most of us aren't showing our homes on the internet all of the time, so there's no reason why your home needs to look like it came out of a magazine. Unless you want to and that works for you, in that case, it's totally fine. You do you. But this is your reminder that you do not need to live up to the pressures that social media can put on you. So I think that this looks so much better, and if you guys came here expecting like bins and labels and all that, then you came to the wrong place, at least when it comes to fridge organization. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I personally feel like it's not practical to organize that way, and I've tried it in the past and I just didn't like it. So this is what we're left with. This works for us, and I just find it so much easier for me to maintain. And this is everything that we're left with that is either expired or is just packaging. Old McDonald's. This is really, really not too bad at all. Like I said, most of this is like just empty packaging. This is just empty packaging. There's really only a few things that are expired, and then just some leftovers that we didn't get to. But overall, I feel like as far as food waste goes, we have it down pretty good, because like I said, we don't ever buy an oversupply of food. We just plan for the week ahead, and because of that, I think we have little waste. I was so happy that I was able to get my entire fridge organized and cleaned out while Seton was napping, because that's a very time-sensitive project. I don't want anything to perish on the island as I'm trying to take care of the baby as well. So I was glad that he slept right through that, but he was awake for the pantry portion. So I am taking him along with me while we work on emptying out the pantry. I was not taking every single thing out of the pantry because we just didn't need to. Some of it was still fine in the spots that it was in, but the shelves that were the most disheveled, I did take everything off. We had a few too many spices that would not fit onto our spice organization, and I am a big fan of removing things when they're just not working for you and you don't have the space for them. So I went through our spices and found a few that we could declutter, and I did go ahead and get rid of those. I went through everything that I took out of the pantry and I found anything that I could consolidate, and I consolidated them. I also removed all of the excess packaging because I'm sure you guys know that the excess packaging just takes up so much space when it doesn't need to. So I like to get rid of that when I can. Sometimes when we get home from the grocery store and I have the baby and I've got a million things going on, I just don't have time to stop and take every single thing out of its packaging and put it into its correct bins. So it's going to get backed up sometimes in my pantry, but it just means that I need to make a point to go in and kind of freshen it up and restock and reorganize every so often when I have a chance. In our current pantry, I've found that the bins have worked very, very well for us, and I try to keep them all very general. So like snacks, dinner, breakfast, I don't label anything specifically oats or specifically anything, because then you're limited to what you can put into that bin, and then I just find it frustrating later when you're rotating foods around in your house. So this has worked really well for us, but in our old pantry, this did not work for us. So I'll link again, I'll have the playlist down below of all of my small kitchen organization videos, but I will put my pantry organization video in there as well, because I have done a couple and they're all different from each other. So if you're looking for ideas for your pantry, if it's different than mine, then hopefully I have something that will help you. Someday I would just love to have a big house with a big walk-in pantry, but I don't know if that's in the cards for us. But this pantry has been so amazing compared to what we had before, and I'm so grateful for our beautiful kitchen. We did spend a lot of money and we put a lot of work into having it renovated, but it was worth every single penny, and it just is so nice to have this kind of storage space when you're used to so much less. Now we're working on this little closet. This didn't take me very long. I knew there was just a few things that were out of place, some things that needed to be removed, and my main thing I wanted to do was take all of the cat food out of its packaging and kind of stack it up so I could save some room in there, because the way we had it, it was just taking up so much space and I couldn't fit much else on the shelf right at the bottom of the closet. So doing this made a huge difference and I was able to gain back a lot of space. This closet was not in our original plans for our kitchen, but I'm so glad that we ended up adding it because it's just been so nice to have, again, some more storage space that we weren't expecting to have, and I'm able to put things in this closet that otherwise were being stored in our basement where they were really hard for me to access. I also love being able to put our art cart in there so it's easily accessible for Carson when he wants to do some crafting. This has easily been one of the best organization projects that I've done recently. It has just worked so well for us.
This is all the excess packaging that I was left with, so I'm just going to break all this down to get put into recycling, and then I am done. I am truly shocked that I was able to get done everything that I wanted to do today. I wanted to do the pantry, the fridge, and that little closet, and everything is looking good and organized and decluttered, which is just the best feeling, especially as we head into the new year. I really, really get that urge to declutter. So if you guys are looking for some of that coming up, then be sure to subscribe to my channel because I will definitely have lots of decluttering in the new year. If you are new, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy cleaning and organizing and decluttering motivation. I post a ton of small home decluttering and organizing videos here on my channel, so subscribe, hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my future uploads, and also follow me on Instagram if you feel like it. Wow, this is like the most annoying outro. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll come back again next week for another one. Project of the day is decluttering this closet. If you guys remember, I did a video where I completely made over this closet when I was like 1,000 months pregnant, and it looks so much better than it did before. He's honestly not playing with a lot of the toys that are in here anymore, so I think I'm going to take a lot of those out, get them put into our playroom downstairs, and replace them with the toys that he's currently really enjoying. I'm like fully shivering right now, so I'm sorry if the camera is shaking a little bit. It is like the first really cold day of the season and I'm feeling it at the moment, but I've got my Halloween Town sweatshirt on here and I'm feeling kind of in the Halloween spirit at the moment. But anyway, I'm getting off track. We are going to deal with this in just a few minutes, and also with just the mess that Carson's room is in general right now.
Or would you follow me? Or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right.
Now moving on to today's project, I'm of course going to start by taking things out of the closet. The first thing that I'm removing is all of Carson's books, and then I'll also take out anything that's sitting on top of these two cabinets.
I didn't throw your stuff away before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find. I'm standing right here. I know that I told you we're over.
It had been a minute since I have kind of wiped down the space in this closet. Actually, it's really been since I made it over in the first place almost a year ago. So we're just going to wipe everything down, and then I'm also going to pull out my vacuum and just get any dust or anything that is on the floor or on the surfaces in his closet cleaned up.
Follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could
I didn't take every single thing out of the drawers in his closet because I knew some of it was going to stay there, but I did go through them and remove the things that he's really not using at the moment and that I knew I wanted to move. And I also took the stickers off of the front for those drawers, and I will replace those stickers once I figure out what new items are going to go in there. Carson's book collection has grown, I don't want to say out of hand because I personally don't feel like you can ever have too many books for kids, but there are quite a bit of books now, and we do read every single night, but he's starting to transition out of little storybooks and onto chapter books. So I wanted to thin out his book collection and put aside any of the ones that he's no longer reading and save them for Sutton when he gets bigger and he's more interested in stories. Right now, Sutton is still just into like little board books or crinkly books, but I think that he's going to be a big reader too because he loves his little board books, especially the book Dada by Jimmy Fallon. He laughs through the whole book. He smiles from ear to ear. So if you guys have a little baby around the same age, then it's worth trying out that book because that's definitely Sutton's favorite. When I was going through the books, I kind of categorized them just in a way that makes sense to me and I think will make sense to Carson as well. And now we're going to work on putting things back into the closet. But it was crazy because I thought I had organized all the books and sorted them, but I feel like the entire time I was working on his closet and his room on this day, I just kept finding more and more. They were just popping up all over the place. I'm telling you, he has so many books, but this is one thing that I don't feel bad that we have quite a bit of because, like I said, I just don't think you can have too many books for kids.
I'm laying down to compile it. Oh no, I see you only when you're balling. Oh no, I don't even care to dive. I'll see you in a while, cause this time I will choose you, yeah. Now choose. You know exactly how they look like.
I've thought about getting a bookshelf for Carson's room, but I just feel like this system is working just fine for us, and maybe at some point he'll want his books out in his room, but for now, this has been working for everybody, so we're just going to keep it as it is, and maybe eventually we'll add a bookshelf to his room.
Pulling me out and I'm right back on the sideline where you wanted me. I'm by the byway waiting for your lead. I don't wanna fall in love like this.
Now I'm just going around checking out all of the toys in his room in general and in his closet and trying to collect things that I'm going to either move downstairs or they're trash or anything that's really good that can be donated. I will put that aside as well. But I find that especially in such a small space, when there's a lot of clutter all around me, I feel like I just can't focus and I feel like I'm stepping on things and I'm walking into stuff and it's frustrating. So I had to just pick things up off the floor, get some things put away just to make space for me to work because it just really starts to overwhelm me and make me just want to give up, honestly. I'm going through Carson's sweatshirts that were hanging in his closet. I was honestly expecting more of them to be too small, but most of them are still his current size. So I only had one that I was able to take out of his closet and the rest still fit him. I had a bunch of little artworks and cards from birthdays and all kinds of things in the top drawer of the cabinet in the closet. and I wanted to go through all of that and just get rid of things that we don't need. I kept anything that had Carson's handprints on it because I like to keep those just to remember what his little hands looked like when he was so small. But anything that was just like a little scribble on a piece of paper, I did go ahead and get rid of.
I'm by the bar, waiting for your leave. I don't wanna fall in love.
I have started my own kind of organization system for Carson's artwork and his projects that he brings home from school. So what I'm doing right now that currently is working, I'll keep you guys updated if it continues to work, but I have a 3-ring binder that I got on Amazon, and I also bought a big pack of sheet protectors, and I'm just putting the artwork and the projects in the sheet protectors and in the binder as they come home from school. And so far that is working out really well, but we'll see how long it takes me to fill up that binder, because he literally brings home no less than like 10 sheets of paper every single day. So I guess we'll see how long that's sustainable, but I'm sure at some point I'll have to be a little bit more picky about what stays in the binder and what ultimately ends up being thrown out.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive.
Here is a clip of Sutton trying to play with my tripod and destroy my camera that was on top of it. So I had to move the tripod to continue going. But trying to do anything with the baby up is so hard because he's mobile now and he doesn't want to just lay there and play with something. He wants to crawl all over the house, and you literally can't take your eyes off of him for like 2 seconds.
Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky.
At this point, I wanted to get some things put back into the closet because, like I said, I just can't work in a messy space. When there's clutter all around me, it really starts to overwhelm me, and I just don't even want to keep going because it just looks like too much. So if I work in little chunks and I kind of put things away as I go, it really helps to keep me motivated just to keep going.
'Cause I found my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, found my way, my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, found my way, my way. I found my way, I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way.
Reached that point in the project where I'm overwhelmed and where I want to call it quits and I want to scrap the video and say I'm done. But I'm including this clip because I feel like nobody talks about it, that when you watch these motivational cleaning, decluttering, organizing videos, you don't realize that a lot of the times the person who's doing it really doesn't want to do it either. So I right now could use some motivation. It's hard, especially toy clutter. I feel like that's a battle that I'm going to be facing for probably at least like the next, I don't know, 12 years of my life, something like that. And it just feels like I declutter and more comes in, and I declutter and more comes in, and it's like a vicious cycle. So the holidays are coming and I know this needs to be done because I need to make room for all the things that they're going to be getting, that Carson is going to be getting on the holidays. I'm sure the baby won't be getting too much this year. But I'm sitting here trying to decide if I need to regroup and pick this up again tomorrow, or if I need to try and do this during Sutton's second nap, which is not until Carson gets home from school. So that means that he'll be here while I'm trying to declutter, which is never good because he doesn't want to say goodbye to anything. It doesn't matter how small it is, what it is. He has a really hard time with that. So do I want to fight with the 5-year-old to declutter his things, or do I want to just pick it back up again tomorrow? I don't know. But trying to get anything done when this one is awake is really not easy. This one is at a very busy stage right now where he really can't be trusted ever. You pretty much have to have your eyes on him 24/7. So trying to get things done while he's awake is near impossible. So what do you think? Do we pick this back up again tomorrow, or do we fight your brother to do it when he's home from school. I don't know. This was later on in the day after Sutton went down for his second nap and Carson was home, so I did decide to go ahead and try to continue decluttering his things when he was home. So we are again working on putting things away. I really wanted to tidy up his room because, as I was saying, it's just too hard for me to work in a mess. And if you're the same way, you'll have to let me know in the comments down below. Typically, we have Betty's bedding on Carson's bed, which is almost like a sleeping bag that fits over their bed, and it's like a fitted sheet and a comforter and a flat sheet all in one, and we really like it. But the one issue I have with it is that it is a big pain to clean, and I think that's, mostly because we have basement laundry, which it's difficult to do laundry with basement laundry, but it's just so big and bulky, and sometimes it can take multiple cycles in the dryer for it to be fully dry, and it's just kind of a pain. So lately we've been using his regular old bedding that I got him from Target, and it's just so much easier to clean when I have to. Since I could see the surfaces in Carson's room, I decided it was a good time to go ahead and just wipe everything down, because I don't know when the next time I'll be able to see the surfaces are, because his room just tends to get so messy so quick. This is an example of why it's so hard to declutter around Carson, because he found this baby that I had bought him when I was pregnant with his little brother, and I just wanted him to have some practice, I guess, being a big brother and all that. He has not touched it in so long, but because I dug it out from somewhere, he decided that he was now going to play with it, and he has carried this baby around with him everywhere for like 4 days. But this is the pile of everything that I decluttered from his room, and like I said, some of this is going to go into the playroom, some of it will be trash, some of it will be donated, and then also we have books that will go into Sutton's room at some point when he's a little bit bigger. But here's the after of the closet. It looks so much better and way less cluttered. This is what I was greeted with when I went downstairs into the playroom, and I had no idea that it was this messy. So we're going to work on cleaning this space up, and then we're going to do a big declutter of this space as well. This was super overwhelming for me. Like I was saying, I do not do well in a big mess trying to declutter things. And I reached a point where I just had nowhere to put anything back. So you'll see me picking things up, shuffling things around, trying to squeeze things into spaces, and there just was no room because there just simply was way too much stuff. We don't keep toys in our living room anymore. We only keep some of the baby's things in there, but Carson's toys for the most part are in his closet or in the playroom. So this is pretty much everything that we have. And it's all squeezed into one room that just simply does not have the space for it. So you're going to watch me struggle to try and pick this space up for a couple of minutes. And then I ended up just stopping for the day because it was like 4:30 in the afternoon and we needed to start making dinner. We had errands we needed to run, and I'd been at this literally all day. So we're going to pause for the day and we're going to pick this up again tomorrow and do a big declutter.
Don't give her nothing sticks to me, baby. Yes, hun, I'm Teflon. I don't give an F, so go ahead and
Here I'm just showing you guys how much stuff was in the closet, how much of a mess the room still was, and just things everywhere that did not have a place. And this is when it became very apparent to me that I just needed to get rid of some things. We're starting with a clean slate on a new day. I brought down a trash bag, and my goal was to fill one whole trash bag with things from in this playroom. And if I happened to have more than that, then that was great. But I don't want to completely shell shock Carson and get rid of a whole ton of things. What I'm thinking my plan is going to be is that I've decluttered a bunch of stuff that I truly don't think he's going to miss. And then I cleaned up the room as best as I could. And I'm going to check back in a month's time, see what's still sitting in the exact same spot that it was when I did this declutter, and get rid of those things and just keep going piece by piece until there is manageable clutter in the toy room and not a total disaster. I think part of the issue with the clutter is that Carson has a ton of big toys. So he's got big trucks, big dinosaurs, big bins full of blocks and magnet tiles and all of that stuff. So it just looks like so much because there's such huge toys. But I'm hesitant to get rid of certain things because Sutton is going to grow up and he's going to be interested in the things that Carson was interested in, and I don't want to have to rebuy things. So it may look like I'm not getting rid of enough, but mind you, I have another child who's only 9 months old. I don't know what his interests are going to be, and I want to make sure that we have the things that he is wanting to play with when he's ready to play with them.
We both know what we want. Let's just keep it simple. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading on follow. Leave us till tomorrow. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading on follow. Leave us till tomorrow.
I'm just curious if kinetic sand is any other mom's mortal enemy or if it's just me. I went through all of the bins in this toy storage system and reorganized things, rearranged them, figured out what I could get rid of. I had a bunch of empty bins, and then I'm also missing a whole bunch. So there's still some things that could be organized into a bin. I just didn't have them when I was working on this. I honestly don't know where they ended up. They may be outside somewhere, but it's been cold and rainy, so I've honestly not had a chance to go check since working on this, but I need to find those because there's still some organization that I could do if I only had all the bins.
You just brought me straight up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Open high at the ceiling. I feel everything spinning. I was feeling down low. You just brought me straight up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading on follow. Leave us till tomorrow. So won't you let me trip with you? Leading on follow. Leave us till tomorrow. So won't you let me? So won't you
You may be wondering about the magnet tile tower behind me in this clip, but I was instructed not to take that down because that was Carson's cage for his dinosaurs, so we're just going to be working around that today. I was also told that I'm not allowed to take down his little letter people that he has set up right here on his table. So I did move them back just so that they're not right at the edge of the table. But like I said, not allowed to clean those up. He does this thing where as they learn things in school, he transforms some of the letters. So they're working on the alphabet right now. So he just transforms a letter every time they focus on one of them. And I think that's really cute. So I'm fine with leaving these out for him. Now we're going to go in with my favorite Dyson vacuum. This one is super strong. It has great suction and it's really compact. I like it a lot. I'm just kidding. This is my son's toy vacuum, but now we're going to plug in my real vacuum and get the room all cleaned up. This is how the room was looking after I was done with it. So obviously we have more work that needs to be done, but I was able to declutter a full trash bag's worth, and I think we made some big progress. So this is going to be a project that will take more than one declutter, and that's totally fine with me. But that is where we end this video. I hope this gave you guys some motivation to declutter a space of your own. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back again next week for another video.